Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Kanter. I'm the CEO of NuCrypt. We are a company working to commercialize products that are at the interface of electronics, photonics, and quantum effects. We've been selling quantum instrumentation for a long time and have an experienced engineering staff that's been with the company, most of them for more than a decade. Our goal is to generate fiber optic quantum instrumentation that's easy to use, so that it certainly doesn't take a PhD to operate the kind of equipment that we'll show you today. An example of an early complete entanglement system that we introduced in 2010 and sent to Japan to do a show floor exhibit is shown here. And we were able to ship the system, unbox it, and be breaking the quantum barrier, meaning making measurements that are impossible with a classical system, in about an hour. So this is the system I'm going to primarily talk about today, and it's been improved and updated over the years. So here's an example of our suite of instrumentation. There's a single software control over all these boxes. We have an entangled photon source that has multiple channels, polarization analyzer, and correlation electronics. They're all cohesively controlled, allowing someone to make measurements that are normally complicated, like two-photon interference or quantum state tomography, very easily. If you look in the bottom corner here, we see an example of a tomographic state reconstruction. This is essentially the information about the quantum state, and we can derive important metrics like fidelity from this information. An important aspect of our system is that there is a fiber optic data link between the two correlation systems. So this means that they can be located in two different locations, and data can be shared in real time as well as commands. So a distributed system with quantum nodes in different locations can behave as if everything was just in one location. We also sell the instruments individually, and because we work with R&D engineers a lot, we routinely customize these systems for our customers. I'd like to point out one thing about our remote correlation source. Not only does this perform all the correlations you need and signal processing that you need to make measurements, it also has high-speed electrical outputs. So you can program it to output a high-speed trigger upon a particular correlation event happening, and that gives you an additional freedom to do feed-forward controlled quantum experiments, which we're not talking about in this demonstration, but is something that we could do. We have some complementary products as well, useful for general lab use, but also helpful for time-bit entanglement. And our systems can be adjusted and ordered to produce time-bit entanglement as well. So here's an example of our system control software. We have a GUI. There's a system configuration, alignment, and measurement control can all be controlled from this one window. Alignment is important if you want to account for the unknown polarization fluctuation of fiber. When you put these systems and connect them through long lengths of fiber, you just don't know what that's doing to the polarization. So this is a way of backing that out and being able to account for it. And that lets us get these kind of pretty two-photon interference curves that you see here. Here's another type of data that can be displayed on the screen. All this data is both displayed on the screen, but can also be stored in a log file so that you can look at it at a later time. Currently, most people use our systems to distribute entanglement between two locations, but of course, as we go forward, more complex experiments are going to be happening. A lot of them will use an intermediary node that does some kind of quantum interference or Bell state measurement, and our system is well suited to make this transition. For instance, our entangled photon sources can be rate lockable, so you can have two entangled photon sources in very different locations, and we can lock their rates together. That's a precursor for doing this kind of work. And this is an entanglement swapping case that you see here. It's not using a quantum memory, but it's on-the-fly entanglement swapping. So we also have performed a lot of complex demos, both in fiber and free space. Here's an example of a flight test we did with a 2.5 gigabit per second quantum noise enhanced encryption system. It's not the entanglement system I was talking about before, but it's an interesting demonstration. We had to handle very wide power fluctuations due to both turbulence and pointing and tracking errors, and automatically securely resync after each disruption. So that involves putting together a lot of different people's vendors' components together and making this large system work. We can be a resource for you if you have demonstrations like this that you'd like to perform as well. My information is shown in the bottom right-hand corner, so please contact me with any questions. Thanks.